Hi, everyone. This is Tom Grisak, and I am here with Robyn DiPasquale. And Robyn, did I pronounce it
Yes,
correctly?
yes.
Okay. This is an interview that I've been looking forward to for a while because home warranties are a big part of our business. Pretty much every home that we sell, there's a home warranty involved on it. So I know they're there, but I don't know the differences between the companies and Achosen spell it, pronounce
Achosa, yes.
Achosa is came and did an interview with our whole team a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, they've got some really good ideas. So I'm going to be asking Robyn about that. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Good. Let me ask you a little bit about yourself first before we start into the home warranties.
Great.
Where did you grow up?
Yeah. So I grew up in Colorado,
Hmm.
Denver, Colorado, born and raised there. Lived there until about 23 years ago when we were moving to Dallas for jobs. It
Hmm.
was supposed to be a short term move. And now, 23 years later, we're still here.
Yeah.
Um, we moved here and
How do you like Dallas compared? You can't. There's really no comparison,
yeah,
I
they're
guess.
very different,
Yeah.
right? But DFW has grown on me.
Hmm. Good.
Texas has grown on me. Actually, it's kind of funny. My family roots are all in Texas.
Hmm.
So we were the first part of our family basically to be in Colorado. So growing up there, love the mountains, love all of
Hmm.
that. So we still try to get back there as often as we can.
Right.
But Dallas has grown on me, and now
Good.
it's our home, and we've seen the growth and we've experienced the great things that Dallas has to offer
Yeah.
in Texas. I
And
have
you live in Prosper, right? How
Yes.
long have you lived there?
Yes. So we've lived there about 13
Okay,
years.
you've seen some big changes out
Big
there too.
changes. Yep. And we've got 3 kiddos and
How old are they?
so one is out of college, one's in college, and another that just graduated from high school. So
Okay.
yeah, we're kind of approaching that empty nest
Yeah.
phase of our lives, right? But I've been part of the real estate industry and supporting it for over 15 years.
Mhm.
I caught that real estate bug and never looked back, and have
Mhm.
had various roles supporting realtors all across the country and in Dallas in particular as well for years now, and just love what I do.
And how long have you been with your company, and what were you doing before that real estate related?
Yeah. So I have been with Achosa for a little over 2.5 years. Loved every minute of it. I've actually been an Achosa client for 7 years.
Okay.
So I became a believer of Achosa's long before I ever started representing the product and the company.
Mhm.
For the real estate industry itself, I've done everything from marketing for a mortgage company to various sales roles supporting realtors throughout the nation. Worked for a company called Homelight most recently before coming over to Achosa. I have just always loved the real estate industry, and
Mhm.
it's exciting. There's
Mhm.
never 2 days, two
Right.
clients that are the same.
Right.
It's just a thrill to support y'all and what you do every day.
Right. Well, I'm sure you may not have the count of how many home warranty companies are out there.
Oh
There have to
goodness.
be 1,000 because it's
That's a great question. I have never tallied
right.
it. There's a lot of companies too out there that call themselves a home warranty company. Whether or not they even do any business or really assist clients is another thing. There's a lot of fly by nights out there.
Mhm.
There's a lot out there that truly I do not feel are in the industry to support clients the
Same in
best.
our business.
You know,
Everything's the
um,
same.
it is probably, as far as the real estate community and industry goes, I think it's one of the most unregulated parts of the real estate industry,
Interesting.
and I wish it was more
Yeah.
regulated,
Yeah.
because those of us like Achosa that really try to follow the rules and abide by business and clients and do things the way that they're supposed to be, we'd love to have more in our space.
Mhm. Tell me about your company. How long has Achosa been in business? Where did they start? Where are they based? Do they operate outside of this area?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've been in business about 8.5 years now. We've been the fastest growing home warranty company for that time. Uh, they started in Missouri, and now we are in 29 states across the country. We grow that as we can support that. So our entire customer service team is all in-house, and we want to keep it that way. And so because of that, we grow at a pace where we can support that business.
Mhm.
So we're in 29 states now. I think what really tells the story of what we do and how we do it is we've been the company with the highest percentage of client renewals in the industry for that period of time.
Excellent.
That is our focus.
Right.
That is what drives what we do and how we do it, quite frankly.
Right. All right. Well, I've got a list of questions that we're going to go through, and um, first I'm going to talk a little bit about just like in our business, there are good experiences and there are clients that haven't had good experiences. Every company out there, and I know you can't make everybody happy. All you can do is your best. So I seem to always hear, well, there's a horror story where the warranty company didn't stand behind a claim or they were fighting the claim. I don't hear that a lot. It's just I never hear great reports on any home warranty company because they get the job done. If people are happy, they don't ever
Yep.
say anything
Yep.
about it. So I'm sure you see some of that too. One of the things that is, I guess, one of my questions is pre-existing conditions. And when someone hires a warranty company, how does the company know whether there was a pre-existing conditions and the homeowner knew about it and then they didn't report it until after, a certain amount of time, which is another question. How long is there like a 30-day wait period for you all before? Okay, that's fairly typical.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, obviously, we operate kind of in the space of in between a warranty company and an insurance company, right? So an insurance company kind of has that hard fast rule of pre-coverage, post-coverage, right? They
Right.
cover from the day that they start forward. So we are very much the same. If you're going through a buying process and it's been discovered in the home inspection time period that, you know, the HVAC system is not working. Well, it's up to you to either as a buyer negotiate through your realtor to get that repaired, replaced, whatever it might be, or do that soon after if you'd like that working moving forward. The way that Achosa functions within that space is if you file a claim within the first 30 days, we're going to ask for the home inspection report.
All right.
If it's flagged during the home inspection that it's not in good working condition, that
Right.
is not something that we would cover
Right.
until those necessary repairs are made.
All right.
Now, the way that we operate is typically we're not going to ask for that inspection report after that time period. We're going to assume that most things have been taken care of. But if someone states in a claim that, hey, this has never been working, right? That's a reason for us
Right.
to
Right. Well, you
request it.
have to protect yourself too. And there are 1,000 ways to try to take advantage of any company out there. So, I understand it's a fine line you have to run between doing what's right and someone that you think may be trying to take advantage of you. And I'm sure that happens. Luckily, in our side of the business, it doesn't happen very often, but I could see in yours that it might, and you do have to protect yourself.
And what's really different though about a CHOSA is if we have to get that inspection during that first 30 days, we're not diving through that inspection report looking for all sorts of other
Right.
things that we won't then cover in the future. I have experienced previously working for another company where that's kind of how they did business. We don't do it that way. It's just that one particular item. Yeah.
And up to what amount would you cover? Like, a refrigerator can cost $7 or $8,000.
Yeah, that's a
And
great question.
who decides whether it can be repaired or replaced?
Yep, yep. So all repairs or replacements that are necessary, that's all determined by the client's chosen vendor. Because with a CHOSA, clients choose their own vendor, whoever that is, and we just pay them immediately at the time of service over the phone. Everything is done via a diagnosis from their chosen vendor,
Okay.
and we do everything immediately. So those vendors that they have chosen, that they hopefully know, like, and trust, or
Right.
maybe you as the realtor have recommended,
Right.
are the ones that are determining basically the course of plan that we take.
Well, that was one of the things that you had brought up in the meeting that I thought was excellent. You can bring in people that you know and trust, and you're not just hiring the cheapest, because I know there are a lot of companies out there that will do that.
Yes.
They're going to find the least expensive person to do everything on there.
Yep.
But if you can work with someone that you trust, it alleviates a lot of that.
Correct. And I think what goes into that too is, you know, if you know, like, and trust a certain vendor, they're hopefully going to give you accurate pricing on making repairs, doing
Hmm.
things. To your point of asking about how much we might cover,
Right,
well, we have 4 different plans that offer 4 different levels of coverage. And that coverage is broken down per each individual system and appliance. So, really, we want your clients choosing what coverage they think they might need for their home moving forward. So if they think they need a little bit more coverage, they may buy a higher level plan at closing. If they think they need less, then they can go with a lesser level plan. And all of the coverage adjusts based on whatever plan they've chosen and then
right.
whatever vendor they've chosen for the repairs.
And then when is that paid? Typically, at closing, the home warranty company has already been chosen. Chosen has,
I wonder why we thought of naming our company that.
yeah. By that time, it's been selected. And who typically selects the warranty company if the buyer and the seller don't have a preference? Does the title company do that?
Yeah, so that's a great question as well. A lot of title companies will supply a list. A lot of realtors I work with as well will supply a list. A lot of realtors I work with will supply a list and then say, "Hey, but here's Robin's contact information. I've worked with her a lot." Or, these companies all operate pretty similarly, but Achosa allows you to choose your own vendors. So
Right.
that's,
Right.
something like
So
that.
they've got to be careful not to put their personal biases in there, but they can point out some things
They
about you
can,
that
just
they,
differences, right? I think it becomes a very daunting task for your clients in particular when they just receive a list from title.
right?
And, it is hard because 9 out of 10 of those
Yeah.
companies on the list may be operating the exact same way,
Hmm.
including to the point where they have the exact same customer service center that
Hmm.
they outsource to.
Mm.
So then, if a client has maybe used one home warranty company in the past and they weren't happy with them, they have a really good chance they may be up for the same exact experience again because they're even going to be working with the same customer service representative.
So you could have 3 or 4 different warranty companies working with the same customer service
Yes,
company.
yes, and
Interesting. I
in
didn't know realize
addition
that.
to that, a lot of home warranty companies that kind of operate in that more traditional space are owned by the same parent company.
Hmm.
So you can be choosing what you think is a different company when in fact it's actually all
I
part
wonder
of
why
the
they would
same.
change the name, what the strategy behind that is.
I don't know, but that's kind of how a lot of the business is done. Furthermore, if you think about it this way, there's only so many vendors in the industry that will partner with a home warranty company. So if you don't like the vendors that one home warranty company has sent you over the years, you're probably not going to like the vendors that another home warranty company sends you because most likely they are the
They're
same.
using the same people. Hmm.
Yeah, so it sets clients up for this feeling of, well, I went to a whole nother company and I'm still not happy with this one, right? Because it's really the same exact business model, is just operating under a different name.
Okay, that's good to
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Let's see. You said you've given how long have you guys been in business? Tell me what you feel like your company does that may be different than all the others.
So in addition to that, what makes us so unique is we actually pay those vendors retail rates at the time of service. That's unheard of in the industry. The traditional models and even some others that have tried to emulate what we do and how we do it, they are paying wholesale rates to those vendors. So that means when a vendor is getting ready to start their day and they've got a whole list of clients they need to see, and they know these clients up here, they're going to get paid retail on. These clients down here, they're going to get paid wholesale on. Who do you think they're going to go see first?
Mhm.
Who do you think in the month they're going to schedule first? Well, they need to be getting paid what they're supposed to be paid, right?
Right.
So they're going to go to those retail rate paying clients
Right.
first.
Right.
So we want your clients to have that competitive advantage of not only being able to utilize the best vendors, but those vendors to want to come out in a timely manner
Right.
because they're going to get paid just like they would any other cash
Right.
paying
That
client.
that makes sense, and that was another question I was going to ask you. Weekends and holidays,
Doesn't matter to us. We pay
okay,
off the bottom line.
okay,
So we're not going to piecemeal out. We don't cover this, we don't cover this, which is a traditional home warranty model. They're going to state that they're going to cover everything under the sun at 100%, but then when it comes down to it, they're only paying those vendors wholesale. They're
mhm,
not paying for weekends. They're not paying for nights. They're not paying labor charges. They're taking out all these different fees. And in the end, these clients have felt like, oh my gosh, I thought this was all going to be covered at 100% for that $500 policy I
right,
got, right? And in the end, the client's walking away and going, I need a new HVAC system. Now, how do I pay that additional $12,000 because my home warranty company is really only paying
mhm,
XYZ?
mhm,
So we wanted to make it a very transparent process of start to finish of this is the plan you've chosen. This is the dollar amount we cover for each individual specific system and appliance within the home. And no hassle back and forth, no piecemealing out the invoice and figuring out what we do and don't pay. We just pay off the bottom line.
right,
We really wanted clients, if they've got an issue with their home, they need it taken care of as quickly as
yeah,
possible. You know, if
right,
you've got an HVAC system that goes down on you,
and 110 degrees out,
you can't wait weeks to
mhm,
have that repaired or replaced. You need to get somebody out there as quickly as possible. And you need to make sure that it's the right people doing those repairs,
and
right?
how do you vet the
That's a
people?
great question. So we don't. We encourage that they are licensed and insured for the protection of the client. But in the end, we will pay someone directly who can give us a diagnosis over the phone and provide a paid invoice in the end, and that our clients can tell us, we've been pleased with the work. Everything has been taken care of. It's working properly now.
Right, I
Once I
see,
work with your clients, they're my
I
clients
see,
forever. So I get alerted every day
yeah.
at the number of policies that are renewing.
So if there was a problem, people would call you, or do they, just call the company
That's
and
a
say, "I
great
need to talk
question.
to
That's a
somebody"?
great question. We kind of do it both ways. So we have, of course, our customer success, client success team that handles all of the claims. But when a contract is ordered, a policy is ordered, and at renewal time, your clients are going to get my information as well. I
Mhm,
want them to know that I'm easily accessible for any questions they have, anything they might need. I will tell you, after having worked for another home warranty company previously and feeling like all I ever did was get involved in claims,
mhm,
to go to a company now where it is few and far between where I ever have to get involved in a claim because I know things are just
right,
happening the way they're supposed to. They're
right,
working and our clients are happy and they're taken care of.
yeah,
That is a game changer for me, for my satisfaction in my job, but also just knowing that the product I'm selling, the company I'm representing,
you can
it
stand
works.
behind it.
And that's why it took me 5 years, quite frankly, a little almost 5 years to be an Achosa customer before I said, "You know what? I believe in this product. I can represent this product. I can stand behind it because I too am an Achosa customer.
Mhm,
I've used it for my own home. I know how it works."
mhm.
And that makes all the difference.
Who typically I'm asking is if I knew nothing about home warranty companies, although I do know quite a bit about the process with them, but explain who typically pays for the home warranty at closing,
Yep, that's a great
buyer or
question.
seller?
That's a great question. Yeah, so I'm speaking with agents every day, all day. And what I'm re-educating my agents and realtors on that is that there is a liability protection built into getting a home warranty. The reason why TREC, the Texas Real Estate Commission, has still maintained that in the contract there is a residential services clause
Mhm,
is because it is a liability protection
mhm,
for sellers. So sellers are
right,
protecting themselves by making sure they provide a certain dollar amount in the contract toward the home warranty for the buyers. The agents, the realtors are getting protection built in there by representing their buyers and making sure that they are receiving a home warranty as part of the closing.
If the seller's getting a great deal, they may say, "Look, I'm gonna go ahead and pay for the home warranty." If it's a real skinny deal for the seller, because 'cause I'm not making anything,
Right,
you're gonna have to pay for the warranty.
right.
So,
There's a bunch of different ways it happens. I have a lot of clients that come to me and say, "Hey, this didn't get negotiated in, but I feel it's important to have it," and they're paying for it themselves either at closing or right
mhm,
around the closing time
mhm,
because they see the importance and the value. And I think that's where when I have clients that have multiple properties they are using a Chosa on, or they've closed on this house 2 years later, they're closing on that one, they're putting us on. It's because they see how it works and they
mhm.
see that value. And it's at any price point of buyer. I mean, I've got some buyers that they're making sure they get a home warranty and it's a multi-million dollar property. It's not just about the dollars and cents at the end. They see the value, they see what we do and how we do it and the ease of it all. Um, you
Which I
know,
was gonna ask you, how do you is it based on square footage of the home or age of the home, or
that's
how
a
do you
great
make that
question.
determination? It's not black and white where every home is X amount of dollars.
Yeah, that's a great
How do you
question.
determine that?
Yes, so we don't have any age restrictions on equipment or property. We don't have any square footage restrictions. Most home warranty companies that do put a square footage restriction in there, it's not because they're offering more for that extra dollar amount that's being charged. They just add it on there because they can make more that way.
Mhm.
We don't do that. Our coverage is our coverage. So, like an HVAC coverage would be an umbrella like coverage. So, it could cover toward one for that year or it could cover toward three. It's
Mhm,
whatever happens in a
mhm.
home and whatever's needed.
Alright, because we deal in, typically, larger, multi-million dollar homes, and, you're taking on a lot of responsibility when you buy a home that big because there are a lot of different units, and, uh, they're gonna obviously have to pay more than someone that's in a maybe a 3,000 square foot home, so I just didn't know how you all, if it's a carte blanche, a standard contract for a
Yep.
home that's,
And that's a great point to make. That is where I would probably have a conversation with your clients or love to, and certainly I spoke with your team about this as well, as that's when we want to look at our higher level plans
yeah.
because those are going to offer more coverage, right? We have built in kind of a overarching profitability model, if you will, for ourselves of knowing a max coverage of what that contract may cover, no matter the size of home,
Mhm.
because you have to, as a business, kind of anticipate what your possible expenditures may
Mhm.
be. And so that's kind of helps us just determine that there's a max on the contract. And hey, if they have to utilize us for everything, there's no way we're going to go beyond that ceiling,
Right.
right?
And what if there is no, home inspection?
That's a great question. So if they tell us that there hasn't been a home inspection and they have to file a claim within the first 30 days, we just have to state that that's basically like we really don't have anything to fall back on. So we would just, in that instance, have a 30-day wait for the policy to take hold if they don't have an inspection, right?
Alright.
Because we just don't have anything. Um, but traditionally, it's not an issue. And I know that it's very rare that there's not a home
Yeah, I
inspection
can't
because you
think
all
of the I
do
was trying to
such a
think of
good
the last
job.
one we had that there wasn't an inspection unless it was a tear down, and then they don't care because 'cause they're
Correct.
taking
And
it.
then, quite frankly, those usually aren't the properties that
Yeah,
really we
right,
end up
right.
warranting because they're gonna tear down the property anyways.
Let's see. What happens if the inspector misses something that was obvious? I guess after 30 days, it still would be covered
That's a great
even though
question.
it's on the inspector?
So that is another way that a CHOSA really sets themselves apart. If something isn't inspected, so let's say it's the winter and they cannot turn on the AC system because they can't risk that. We deem that as it must have been working appropriately, so we go ahead and cover that moving forward.
Alright.
Most home warranty companies will use that as a reason not to cover
Mhm.
something. We do the reverse.
Mhm. Let's say that there you had to have, some type of certification from the city to do repairs, and there's permitting involved. Does that included in your work too?
Yes, it
It
is,
is?
it is,
Okay.
and there's a lot of HVAC technicians running around out there saying people need new HVAC systems because of new
Right.
refrigerant, and it's not true. I mean, they have been stating that as long as I've been a part of the home warranty space for the last 10 years, they've been stating those things. If your vendor can make the repairs, if they can get the refrigerant, we pay for that. There's
Okay.
no issues. And in terms of, they call them code, and I hate this word, violations, but that's kind of what they call it. We have coverage in our contract for codes
Okay.
needed and
Okay.
permits needed.
Perfect.
Again, we just pay off the bottom line.
Well, why don't you explain seller's coverage first, and then I'm going to ask you a question about seller's coverage.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we do offer complimentary listing coverage. It's going to help protect your sellers during the time that the property is listed. You know, those sellers, they get that property so sparkly clean and in perfect condition. And then they, as soon as they list that property, they already have their eyes on the next one
Hmm.
or what their future plans may be. They don't want to put another dime
Right.
into this current property. So we want to add an additional layer of protection for them, an additional service for you as a realtor to provide to them. And it's just a way of us covering it like we would normally do under our core level coverage, our plan. It's going to cover them up to $1,000 of coverage during the time that the property is listed for anything that comes up that they didn't expect. Or if something comes up during an inspection and it's something that they didn't know was going on, we
Right.
will assist with that.
Yeah. So it could be a $5,000 repair, but you'll pick up $1,000
We
of
will
it.
cover up to
Okay.
$1,000.
All
Yes.
right. Now, that is usually decided if they're going to take the I call it seller's coverage. It probably makes more sense to call it listing coverage. Let's say that the seller has a listing coverage, and then a claim is made, and you have to pay the $1,000, but then the buyer at before closing says, I don't want to use that company, I want to use another company. Are they tied into using?
That's a great question. None of us can control that. Texas is a buyer's choice state.
Mhm.
We're just hoping that we get an at bat,
Yeah.
right? Our goal through that is A, we're introducing ourselves to your clients, we're protecting them.
Right.
You're coming in as the hero when their HVAC system, let's say, goes down, and you're like, here's $1,000 in your pocket, basically through
Right.
Achosa. We are also hoping that those sellers see the value, and hopefully, if they're purchasing another home, we're going to get an
Right.
opportunity to be on their next home. Also,
Right.
during the process, what we are anticipating and hoping for is you as the agent have made sure that your sellers understand the importance of providing that warranty of some
Mhm.
sort to the buyers. Then hopefully I get an introduction to the buyer's agent somehow once the property goes under contract so that I can introduce
Right.
myself and Achosa to them. All we're hoping is for the opportunity, but we're definitely going into this making sure that we have an understanding of, hey, you
Yeah.
see the value and
Right.
importance of a home warranty.
Right.
We'd just like the opportunity to
Yeah.
be involved.
Okay. Now let's talk about service call charges, fees. Tell me about how that works with y'all.
Yep. So we do that too very differently. So think of kind of, we talked about earlier how we operate kind of in the space in between warranty and insurance.
Mhm.
So when we were creating Achosa, when the founders of the company were creating Achosa, they wanted to think about what would be the most customer friendly way to create this home warranty company. Well, kind of like if you have a PPO medical insurance plan, you're choosing who you want to go to. And then you're paying your copay at the time of service directly to that doctor, right? We're the same way. So you're going to pay $100 copay, if you will, to a vendor directly at the time of service. Most home warranty companies, what they will do is they will have that fee come to them. Well, then, if for some reason that claim does not get processed and taken care of by the warranty company, whatever reason that might be, they're still keeping that payment that was made from those clients, regardless.
Mhm.
We don't want to do it that way. You just pay the vendor at the time we're paying the vendor. So it's kind of like a split pay feature. So it's $100 paid to the vendor for every claim processed and paid by us.
And if they have to come out a second time, what happens on a let's say a service call? Maybe it wasn't corrected the first time. Do they have to pay this another service call fee?
No,
Okay.
that would be between them and the vendor then,
Okay.
because we've already paid
Okay.
for that first one, right?
Right. Um,
Now, that's not to say if there were additional issues that
oh,
arose
sure.
afterwards,
Right.
certainly your coverage is still there and you can utilize that.
Okay. Let's see. If an item cannot be repaired, do you offer replacement at cash value or is it at a,
Depreciated?
yes, exactly.
Yes. So that's a great question. So when something has to be replaced, there that's going to be from the vendor. They're telling us we can't repair that. Usually that's due to age,
Hmm.
right? This dishwasher is too old and we can't repair it. It needs to be replaced.
Hmm.
That's when we're going to look at your clients and whatever they need to do, we're just going to max out on coverage at
Hmm.
that. So if their dishwasher has up to $1,000 in coverage, they go out, they choose whatever they want, and then we're going to pay up to $1,000 in a reimbursement toward whatever they chose.
All right.
It's an electronic reimbursement, it's immediate. They can transfer it to a bank account, a PayPal, a Venmo, whatever they want, and it's all immediate.
All right.
Yep, we don't worry about all the age depreciation and all those things. We really just wanna make sure that they're taken care of and happy.
Right. One thing that the team brought up that I wasn't even aware of is tell us about your renewal process. And can you guys do you jump the rate every year or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's one of the many things I also love about Achosa. Me being a customer of Achosa's for now 7 years, I've personally experienced this. So, we're so focused on long-term partnership with your clients and with our customers that we will never increase their cost at renewal.
Mhm.
So the policy and plan they chose going in at, if they want to stay on that for the lifetime they're with Achosa, they are locked in at that price
Well, that's
forever.
amazing.
Yeah.
Find
So
another business that does
I
that.
know, right? We just wanna make sure they're happy and they stay with us if
Right.
they wanna do so. Now, obviously, if they switch to a different plan,
Yeah,
that would be current
that's
retail rate,
understandable.
right? But as long as they wanna stay on that same plan, they are locked in. So I do encourage clients when we're trying to look at different plans of if they are looking at maybe in between the lower and higher level plan based on, of course, their financial needs are most important, right? But if they're in between those, I do sometimes mention that just because every home ages every year, right? Everything inside the home ages every year. So if you're in between two plans, sometimes it is best to go ahead and go to that higher level plan because you will be locked in at that price and that coverage for the
Yeah,
lifetime
that makes
you're
sense.
with you're in your home and with the Chosa.
Okay, excellent. Well, you've answered every question I have. I mean, we got down in the weeds on this, but I think if someone really wants to understand home warranties, this is a good starting point, and then they can make comparisons with other companies versus what you all do.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing in anything in real estate related is education, right? We are all in this to educate our clients, make sure that they're then able and equipped to make their decisions for themselves of what's best for them. I just appreciate this opportunity to explain more about Achosa, how we work, what we do, how we do it. In the end, I want to be an extension of what you do as a realtor and your team, and hopefully I have the opportunity to speak with your clients too, because it's really my job to be the expert at what I do and help
Right,
support y'all.
right.
I could never do your job. Certainly wouldn't want to try. So let me lean on me for the home warranty side
Right.
and let your clients bring their questions my way so that hopefully I can help them make a more educated decision.
Right. Well, Robin, thank you so much for visiting with me. Uh, my team, when you came out and did your presentation, as I said, they were very impressed with you, and wasn't at that meeting, so now I understand why. And I know we're giving you business already. I just saw something that came by, so we appreciate you taking the time and explaining it to us, and I know you'll do very, very well. So
Well,
thank you
thank you. I
again.
just appreciate the opportunity and thanks for choosing Achosa, y'all.